Oh, good morning, friends. Why don't we continue on our Vectorworks spotlight and lighting fixtures and how we hang them and select them, and let's turn some on. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so here are our three lighting fixtures that we had hung in our last exercise, and they were available through our resource manager in the lower right side, right? And there are a variety of other sorts of fixtures that are available here. For example, PARs, which are going to be useful. And then there's a lot of other stuff that's here, and we will either go into more detail or there's another video on that. But what I would like to do this morning is to let's go ahead and let's see about some of the power that Vectorworks gives us. I know that we've done photometrics and I've shown you how to calculate all that by hand, but let's see what the drafting program can do for us. Right? And in order to turn a fixture on, we need to be able to tell it where we want this fixture to be aimed. Right? And so what we need to do is we need to put in a few focus points, right? Essentially, we're talking about a lighting area, right? And so if we go over into our spotlight tool set, right, which is right over here on our right side, right? And I have some options. There first is the lighting instrument insertion tool. And that's when we're actually inserting that lighting symbol. And by double clicking on the lighting symbol, it is automatically selected for us. But if we were trying to insert a symbol manually or something like that, we may need that tool. Next is for hanging position. And the third one that's over is actually called the focus point tool. And that's the one that we're going to need right now this morning. And so what we're going to want to do is why don't we go ahead and let's determine three areas that we would like to have on the stage. And I'm going to just click that tool and it gives me a drawing cursor, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And why don't we put our first acting area, or lighting area, right here on the center and center, right mid-stage, right in smack at 0, 0. Now it's asking us for the name of that acting area, and some people use letters, some people use numbers, some people use stage position. Do you know there are a variety of ways to name a lighting area, and so I defer to you. The next thing is actually focus height, right? So we could put the focus height all the way on the floor, or we could determine a focus height that's a little taller, right? Because we're actually going to be lighting people that are going to be walking around the space, and it might be useful for us to think about where the person is going to stand rather than where the beam is on the floor. So this is not by default. This is information I have typed in earlier, and what I'm just going to call my acting area downstage, and then I'm going to put a center on, I didn't do that right. How about downstage? And I'm just going to call it downstage center, and I'm just going to work on a focus height of about 5 feet. So I'm talking about the light will focus 5 feet off of the floor, right? And it even tells us in the little help box the height above the stage floor used for focusing, right? And a name for the focus point. I'll say okay, right? And it puts this little disc that appears right there, and then that's great. So I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and put in another one? Let's put in another one over here, and I'm going to, instead of calling that downstage D, I'll call that one downstage, downstage, and let's call that left center. So that's anyway, you name them whatever you want, right? Downstage left center, and maybe I'll even put in another one over here, and we'll call that one down right center, and we'll say okay, right? So now I have these three discrete focus points that are here, right? Which is where I'm going to actually point lights to the stage. Okay, That's great. So now I have that information, and you're going to want to kind of remember what you called these, whether they're 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, however you've named them, right? And I want to go back to the light. Now remember, over in our object info browser, we have a ton of information that's over here. The fixture type, and then we can type in all this other information, and when we get to doing the light plot, we'll talk about that some more, right? And we'll just keep going. And if you continue to scroll down, and you have to go pretty deep down this list, right? Show beam at focus point, fall off distance, shutters, use symbol, and you'll finally arrive at a field that says focus. This does not appear in a pull-down list. I hope that that feature is added. You just have to type in what you want that to be. And I'm going to call that downstage center, because I would like to focus this light, the one I have selected, to this area. Excuse me. And I'll press enter. And that's fine. Now let's do a little fly around, and let's take a look at what just happened, right? And if you'll look, you'll see that in 3D, when we do our fly around and we look at it, that fixture is now different than our other ones. It is actually pointed at the stage, right? And let's even render this. Let's go ahead and do a little OpenGL, right? And then you can see that that fixture is pointed at the stage. Yeah? Okay, that's great. Now, well, why don't we go ahead and let's put a focus point on this one. This one was at down right center. Let's go all the way down, keep going, focus. And that one was at down, oh, I'm sorry, that's down left center for the one on the stage left side. And I'll hit enter. And look, it magically snapped into that position. And I will do this last one over here, and this says focus down right center, enter, and that one snaps into position. Now we'll go back to our top plan view real quick, and we'll look at our areas. Now our areas are an object just like anything else. If we click on that, you'll see that we get information that's over here that is about that object, where it is located, and what its name is. If you change its name, you're going to have to change the name of the area that it's the lighting area that the fixtures are focused to. However, I can just drag this object wherever I want, right? I can move it just like I can any other object, right? It is just an object within the drawing program, and I'll even drag it off to the side right now, and let's assume that I put it in badly. I'll go ahead and stop this video right now, and then we'll move on to some of the options that we have. So this is a good stopping spot, and I will see you in a little bit. Thanks so much.